Welcome back. Now, where's the time gone? You're watching 1HEART Live, showcasing the best entertainment, culture and news inspired by the Caribbean. Now, let's see what everyone's saying about the conversation on social media, because for the whole show so far, I've been encouraging you all to get in touch with us on Twitter, on emails, telling you to call us on Instagram as well. We've got some comments here. Very inspirational show so far we've had from Jam in UK. Authenticity and excellence are the key, well said, which was mentioned to us earlier by some of our former guests. A fantastic opportunity, yes, Bianca Miller, young women, she's definitely one with grace and dignity as well. So really happy to see a lot of these positive comments coming in. Inspirational programme seems to be the running theme. I mean, we've spoken a lot about inspiration. That's what all of you guys are doing and involving yourselves in. Nathaniel, what projects have you got up and coming to continue this hype and this buzz that encourages young people to get involved and keep inspiring them?
Well, we've currently got an Indiegogo campaign, really, fundraising project for a rural school in Kenya that's actually burnt down. They use kerosene lanterns. I mean, kerosene is a big problem, and biofuels is a big problem in Africa. You've got about 1.25 billion people around the world that have electricity. And, young people are still using things like candles and lamps to actually light their homes and do their homework. And this school is actually burnt down. And we wanted to actually build a solar facility there, but it's delayed the project, and we're trying to actually rebuild the school. So we've actually got an Indiegogo project going on at the moment, and if you go to my Facebook page, Nathaniel Peat, you'll find that there. But there's one more thing, in fact, which is the Back to Black award ceremony, which is coming up as well. That's awarding young people, role models from the community, and all of the donations from and all of the tickets bought for the Back to Black event are going to go straight back into the community, and that's going to be something at the BAFTA. So you can check that Back to Back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for my invitation. But I mean, that's definitely something that sounds like we can all support. I mean, I love hearing about those awards that are out there to highlight, like I mentioned earlier, those not just who are into the music and the sport, but some of the young people pioneering the way for the future. Yeah, absolutely love that. And David, from yourself, with CaribDirect, how's that looking for you for the future? Have you got anything exciting that you're plugging into that website?
Yes, as a matter of fact, this year we did our first Caribbean Food and Drink Expo in Brixton on Windsor Square. It was well received. I mean, we were blessed with good weather.
Always a good thing.
Everywhere else in London had rained out, but we had really good weather on that day. So we're planning 2016's event in a much bigger park. With bigger partners as well. So some of them are in tourism and so on. So we hope that this one will set the pace for the Caribbean food and drink, not just for Caribbeans to enjoy, but also for people who have an interest in the Caribbean, who want to sample Caribbean food and drink, and who may want to get involved in the tourism trade as well.
Yeah, we in fact have a clip from the event that we would love to show. So here it is.
Hi, my name's Amanda Alexander, and we're live and direct at the Windsor Square in Brixton for CaribDirect and Fairweather Productions Caribbean Food and Drinks Expo. Let's go and find out how everybody's enjoying themselves so far.
There we go. It looked like a very good event. Yeah, yes, definitely.
Thank you.
And, Nathaniel, you mentioned renewable energy.
That's right, yeah.
I just want to expand on that a little bit, because for me, the future is sustainability, it's innovation, it's growth. We're going to have a lot of budding entrepreneurs watching this show, wanting to know about the future for them. We've got to also think about their futures, the futures of the next generations, and so on and so on. So what can we do to ensure that sustainability is seen as well, Margaret, in businesses, as well as by entrepreneurs, and that we're thinking along those lines and starting up businesses that prosper innovation and growth?
I think the business community as a whole, entrepreneurs need to start pushing the idea that business is for good and business should be used for good. And a lot of this is about legacy planning. One thing is once you've actually attained the heights, actually lifting somebody else up and giving them the skill set so that they can do it themselves. And we're trying to disrupt the space by doing exactly that, by empowering women and teaching young people about electronics and how to fix the products, and also entrepreneurship skills and how to sell it, which elevates them from poverty. And you see, when you you can actually, it goes back to what I started with, which is connect your business to a need.
Yes.
And when you can connect your business to that need, you deliver the service, that person then is going to pay for that service. And if you can actually, do something good with that by empowering people as well, then you're going to have great sustainability. Three words to remember really: innovation, empowerment, and electricity when you're talking about sustainable renewable energy.
Yeah, fantastic. I hope you've got a pen. Now, Margaret, I want to find out from you about your journey now going forward as a mentor, because you mentee a rapper, I believe.
Yes, I certainly do.
So, I mean, what's going on with that? I'm excited. I want to hear more. How's that looking for the future?
Really, I mean, it sort of goes back to what we were talking about before, about nurturing young men and trying to give young men a way forward as well as young women, of course. But before we do that, can I just quickly say that I did notice the name of somebody on the tweets who is actually the founder of one of the branches of the Women's Equality Party.
Okay.
And that was, I think, just so wonderful to see that little snapshot of that name, because it goes back to what we were saying about influencing. If you actually want the system to change, you get in there, you do something about it. And so this woman has launched the Croydon branch of the party.
Wonderful.
And it is fantastic if you can actually get to that apex of that triangle and influence things, and that's just really the best way to move things forward and to make sure that what we're doing is sustainable.
Yeah, I mean,
but sorry, I didn't answer your question.
No.
Sorry.
I think, you mentioned earlier the theme of people whining and actually having to get up and do something about it.
Exactly.
And also, Nathaniel, you mentioned about helping,
let me just
helping
quickly
people up.
tell you about my young man before we go on.
Please.
He's so talented.
That is what I asked.
And you did ask it. You did ask it. He's on the 16th of October, we're launching his new video. And this is somebody who has a lot of talent, and I know there are lots of young men out there who have a lot of talent, and we're starting with actually having spoken to a record label that basically said, oh, crikey, too much risk. We thought, OK, we'll take the risk ourselves. So we've launched our own record label called BYS, which is
BYS.
Beyond Your Sense, or Be Yourself, so that's hence the initials. And who knows, in time we might be able to nurture other young people to launch their career.
No,
similarly.
I hope so. That's the dream, the desire,
watch
and the
this
vision.
space. Sorry, I didn't mean
What's
to
the name of the rapper that you're mentoring?
Kelvin Colt is his name,
Okay.
and his first single is called Narcotic.
Okay, and then where can we find him? On social media, I presume?
On social media, absolutely.
Okay. Now, can you recite any bars to us? I don't know if you picked up anything from working with him. I was hoping that he'd be here so that we could hear something, spice up the show.
One of the most embarrassing things in the world, even more embarrassing than dad dancing, is mum rapping. So you do not
Well, if
want
you
to
change
hear
your
it.
mind, you know where we are on Instagram, and I would love to see that video myself. Now, Nathaniel, you mentioned bringing people up,
Yes, yeah.
not just being selfish and slamming that door of opportunity behind you, but actually keeping it open so that others can, follow in your path and supersede where you are and actually do better for the next generation as well.
Yes.
So I really want to hear some final words of wisdom for you, for our viewers. Going in line with what you're saying about bringing people up, one in which I know is sort of, know the way for yourself, show the way, go the way, show the way, help others. David, I'd love to hear from you. What would you say to any entrepreneurs watching?
Well, I think the important thing is, which is what I have always followed all my life, is discipline. A very wise man once said, discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. And I've followed that all my life. I mean, you need to have a purpose. You need to see the end.
Yeah.
Always have the end in mind. And then you work backwards and you'll achieve your goals.
Yeah, I love it. Short and sweet. Nathaniel,
Yeah.
you've given us so many already, but have you got any
You know what,
more?
I had the privilege of actually getting to go to Richard Branson's island, Necker, in May. And one thing that Richard Branson actually said was...
Hold on, wow. Not only did he mention you in his book, but you went to his private island.
Yeah,
Okay, I just thought I'd acknowledge
great.
that.
It was an amazing experience. And just being around entrepreneurs like, Sir Branson and some of the other entrepreneurs that were on the island at the same time was just, out
Who
of
else
this
was
world.
there?
Big players, Van Jones, he's a big civil rights guy. We had, head of MGM, the movie company, and other entrepreneurs that have founded various different social enterprises. But, you know, it really is about the advice. You know, Richard Branson has this concept of, you know, find people that are better at doing it than yourself and integrate them into your team. That's essentially, I think, what we lack as a Caribbean community is actually we build a wall around ourselves and we don't build a table for everyone to sit around it. And there's two different types of people. You have the person who is powerful, loaded with success, and they build a wall. Whereas you need to actually build a table. When you can get into that attitude of building a table and then finding people that are better at doing it than yourself sitting around your table, you're going to be successful. And the key thing goes back to what Margaret was saying in terms of, you know, you can't make footprints in the sand of time sitting on your butt, but you've got to get up and you've got to move. Those footprints cannot be made unless you actually move. And so, you know, you can have these concepts, you can have these ideas, but you've actually got to start the movement. And when you start that movement, you find other people that can help you to move faster, and you're going to be okay.
The bigger picture is definitely collaboration. And finally, Margaret, I'd love to hear some final words from you.
I think you've hit the nail on the head with the C word, collaboration. And I think what's very, very important is for us to start building networks and realising the strength of our networks. It's what everybody else does, so we should take advantage of that too. And then finally, as Nathaniel has quite very eloquently said, send the lift back down. If you've made it, don't stay up there on your own, send the lift down.
Absolutely, keeping that door of opportunity open. David, Nathaniel, Margaret, thank you so much for joining us. You guys have been a pleasure to have on the show. Bianca as well, who was here earlier, as well as Julian Hall, fantastic. We've had a really great panel, and this show wouldn't have been the same without you guys. Join Angie as she visits the supposedly haunted Rose Hall, Great House Bloomfield and Rasta Village. Now, we've thanked our guests. Thank you as well for supporting us and joining us. We've made it through the first show. Stay watching. Up next is Home Sweet Home.